In a reinforced concrete beam column, the increase in the flexural strength along with the increase in the axial strength occurs. A. Beyond the elastic limit of the material. B. When the yield of the tension reinforcement governs the strength. C. When the crushing of the concrete in the compression zone governs the strength. D. Never. The correct answer is when the yield of the tension reinforcement governs the strength. The group efficiency of a pile group. A will be always less than 100. B will be always greater than 100. C may be less than 100 or more than 100. D will be more than 100 for pile groups in cohesionless soils and less than 100 for those in cohesive soils. The correct answer is will be more than 100 for pile groups in cohesionless soils and less than 100 for those in cohesive soils. A wastewater sample contains 10.5.6 mol L of OH ions at 25 C. The pH of this sample is A 8.6, B 8.4, C 5.6, D 5.4. The correct answer is 5.4. At a rated capacity of 44 Cumecs, a centrifugal pump develops 36 m of head when operating at 1450 rpm. Its specific speed is A 654, B 509, C 700, D 90. The correct answer is 654. Presence of ifluoride in water greater than permissible level of 1.5 mg L causes A. Cardiovascular disease, B. Methemoglobinemia, C. Hepatitis, D. Dental fluorosis. The correct answer is dental fluorosis. The values of liquid limit and plasticity index for soils having common geological origin in a restricted locality usually define A zone above a line, B a straight line parallel to a line, C a straight line perpendicular to a line, D points may be anywhere in the plasticity chart. The correct answer is a straight line parallel to a line. M relationship for a simply supported beam shown below is given by A. MLEI2, B. MLEI3, C. MLEI4, D. MLEI6. The correct answer is MLEI4. The number of revolutions of a current meter in 50 seconds were found to be 12 and 30, corresponding to the velocities of 0.25 and 0.46 ms respectively. What velocity in ms would be indicated by 50 revolutions of that current meter in 1 minute? A 0.42, B 0.50, C 0.60, D 0.73. The correct answer is 0.60. A lysimeter is used to measure A. Infiltration, B. Evaporation, C. Evapotranspiration, D. Radiation. The correct answer is evapotranspiration. In IS 800-1984, the permissible compressive stress in column is based on A. Euler formula, B. Secant formula, C. Rankine-Gordon formula, D. Rankine-Merchant formula. The correct answer is Secant formula. Sewage treatment in an oxidation pond is accomplished primarily by A. Alga-bacterial symbiosis, B. Algal photosynthesis only, C. Bacterial oxidation only, D. Chemical oxidation only. The correct answer is alga-bacterial symbiosis. Presence of excess nitrates in river water indicates A. Recent pollution of water with sewage, B. Past pollution of water with sewage, C. Immediate pollution of water with sewage, D. No pollution of water with sewage. The correct answer is past pollution of water with sewage. Two steel plates each of width 150 mm and thickness 10 mm are connected with three 20 mm diameter rivets placed in a zigzag pattern. The pitch of the rivets is 75 mm and gauge is 60 mm. If the allowable tensile stress is 150 MPa, the maximum tensile force that the joint can withstand is A 195.66 kN, B 195.00 kN, C 192.75 kN, D 225.00 kN. The correct answer is 192.75 kN. A single bay single-story bottle frame has hinged left support and a fixed right support. It is loaded with uniformly distributed load on the beam. Which one of the following statements is true with regard to the deformation of the frame? A. It would sway to the left side. B. It would sway to the right side. C. It would not sway at all. D. None of the above. The correct answer is it would sway to the left side. To have zero active pressure intensity at the tip of a wall in cohesive soil, one should apply a uniform surcharge intensity of A to C tan, B to C cot, C to C cot, D to C tan. The correct answer is 2 C tan. The following characteristics pertain to the sand filters used in water industry. A. I2 and 3. B. I and 2. C. 2 and 3. D. I and 3. The correct answer is I and 3. Effective length of a rafter member between two nodes at a distance L perpendicular to the plane of the truss is A. 2.00 L. B. 0.85. C. 1.50. D. 1.00 L. The correct answer is 0.85. The slope of the elastic curve at the free end of a cantilever beam of span L and with flexural rigidity EI subjected to uniformly distributed load of intensity W is A. WL36 EI, B. WL33 EI, C. WL48 EI, D. WL32 EI. The correct answer is WL36 EI. If duty D is 1428 hectares cubic and base period B is 120 days for an irrigated crop, then delta in meters is given by A. 102.8, B. 0.73, C. 1.38, D. 0.01. The correct answer is 0.73. The repeating variables in dimensional analysis should A. include the dependent variable, B. have amongst themselves all the basic dimensions, C. be derivable from one another, D. exclude one of the basic dimensions. The correct answer is include the dependent variable. The minimum dissolved oxygen content ppm in a river necessary for the survival of aquatic life is A. 0, B. 2, C. 4, D. 8. The correct answer is 4. Stopping sight distance is the minimum distance available on a highway, which is the A. distance of sufficient length to stop the vehicle without collision, B. distance visible to a driver during night driving, C. height of the object above the road surface, D. distance equal to the height of the driver's eye above the road surface. The correct answer is distance of sufficient length to stop the vehicle without collision. A body moving through still water at 6 msec produces a water velocity of 4 msec at a point 1 m ahead. The difference in pressure between the nose and the point 1 m ahead would be A. 2,000 nm2, B. 10,000 nm2, C. 19,620 nm2, D. 98,100 nm2. The correct answer is 10,000 nm2. Critical factors for the activated sludge treatment process are: A. Maximum hourly flow rate. B. Maximum and minimum flow rate. C. Maximum hourly flow rate and maximum daily organic load. D. Minimum hourly flow rate and minimum daily organic load. The correct answer is maximum hourly flow rate and maximum daily organic load. MPN index is a measure of one of the following: A. Coliform bacteria. B. Bod 5. C. Dissolved oxygen content. D. Hardness. The correct answer is coliform bacteria. One of the probable causes of rutting on flexible pavements is: A. Excessive stripping of binder material from the wearing cores. B. Use of flaky aggregates in the wearing cores. C. Inadequate compaction of pavement layers. D. High wind speeds. The correct answer is inadequate compaction of pavement layers. The basic assumption of plane sections normal to the neutral axis before bending remaining plane and normal to the neutral axis after bending leads to: A. Uniform strain over the beam cross-section. B. Uniform stress over the cross-section. C. Linearly varying strain over the cross-section. D. Stresses which are proportional to strains at all cross-sections. The correct answer is uniform strain over the beam cross-section. Negative skin friction occurs when: A. An upward drag exists in the pile. B. The surrounding soil settles more than the pile. C. The pile passes continuously through a firm soil. D. The driving operation begins. The correct answer is the surrounding soil settles more than the pile. The dimension of a pressure gradient in a fluid flow are: A. ml1 T2. B. ml3 T2. C. ml2 T2. D. m1 L1 T2. The correct answer is ml2 T2. Maximum strain at the level of compression steel for a rectangular section having effective cover to compression steel as D and neutral axis depth from compression phase as XU is: A. 0.00351 dxu. B. 0.0021 dxu. C. 0.00351 xud. D. 0.0021 xud. The correct answer is 0.00351 dxu. The maximum shear stress in a solid shaft of circular cross-section having diameter d subjected to a torque T is: If the torque is increased by 4 times and the diameter of the shaft is increased by 2 times, the maximum shear stress in the shaft will be A2, B, C2, D4. The correct answer is 2. In a drained triaxial compression test, a saturated specimen of a cohesionless sand fails under a deviatoric stress of 3 kgfcm2 when the cell pressure is 1 kgfcm2. The effective angle of shearing resistance of sand is about A. 37, B. 45, C. 53, D. 20. The correct answer is 37. The particle size distribution curves are extremely useful for the classification of A. Fine-grained soils. B. Coarse-grained soils. C. Both coarse-grained and fine-grained soils. D. Silts and clays. The correct answer is both coarse-grained and fine-grained soils. If an element of a stressed body is in a state of pure shear with a magnitude of 80 nmm2, the magnitude of maximum principal stress at that location is A. 80 nmm2, B. 113.14 nmm2, C. 120 nmm2, D. 56.57 nmm2. The correct answer is 80 nmm2. 3 reservoirs A, B, and C are interconnected by pipes as shown in the below figure. Water surface elevations in the reservoirs and the piezometric head at the junction J are indicated in the below figure. Discharges Q1, Q2 and Q3 are related as A Q1, Q2, Q3, B Q1, Q2, Q3, C Q2, Q1, Q3, D Q1, Q2, Q3 0. The correct answer is Q1, Q2, Q3. Both Reynolds and Froude numbers assume significance in one of following examples. A. Motion of submarine at large depths. B. Motion of ship in deep seas. C. Cruising of a missile in air. D. Flow over spillways. The correct answer is flow over spillways. A direct shear test was conducted on a cohesionless soil C0 specimen under a normal stress of 200 kN/m2. The specimen failed at a shear stress of 100 kN/m2. The angle of internal friction of the soil degrees is A 26.6, B 29.5, C 30.0, D 32.6. The correct answer is 26.6. The following two statements are made with reference to a simply supported under reinforced RCC beam. A. Both the statements are false. B. I is true but 2 is false. C. Both the statements are true. D. I is false but 2 is true. The correct answer is both the statements are true. In deriving the equation for the hydraulic jump in a rectangular channel in terms of the conjugate depths and the initial Froude number, A. Continuity equation and energy equation are used. B. Continuity equation and momentum equation are used. C. Equations of continuity, momentum and energy are used. D. Gradually varied flow equation is used. The correct answer is equations of continuity, momentum and energy are used. An important purpose of prime coats is to A. Promote the bond between the base and the wearing courses. B. Promote the adhesion between an existing wearing surface and a subsequent wearing surface. C. Promote the bond between the sub-base coils and the subgrade. D. Increase the stability of the subgrade. The correct answer is promote the adhesion between an existing wearing surface and a subsequent wearing surface. A trickling filter is primarily A. Straining process to remove suspended solids from sewage. B. Biological oxidation process to remove board from sewage. C. Straining process to remove turbidity from water. D. Straining process to remove bacteria from water. The correct answer is biological oxidation process to remove board from sewage. A soil having particles of nearly the same size is known as A. Well graded. B. Uniformly graded. C. Poorly graded. D. Gap graded. The correct answer is uniformly graded. The ideal form of curve for the summit curve is A. Spiral. B. Parabola. C. Circle. D. Lemniscate. The correct answer is parabola. A septic tank is A. An aerobic method of on-site sewage treatment. B. An anaerobic method of on-site treatment. C. A physical method of water treatment. D. A physico-chemical method of water treatment. The correct answer is an anaerobic method of on-site treatment. At highway stretches where the required overtaking site distance cannot be provided, it is necessary to incorporate A. At least twice the stopping site distance. B. Half the required overtaking site distance. C. 1/3 the required overtaking site distance. D. 3 times the stopping site distance. The correct answer is at least twice the stopping site distance. The members EJ and IJ of steel truss shown in the figure below are subjected to a temperature rise of 30 C. The coefficient of thermal expansion of steel is 0.000012 per C per unit length. The displacement mm of joint E relative to joint H along the direction He of the truss is A 0.255, B 0.589, C 0.764, D 1.026. The correct answer is 0.764. A 2R unit hydrograph can be approximated as trapezoidal as shown in the below figure. The unit hydrograph refers to catchment of area A 138.24 km to B 0.0384 km to C 384 m to D 3840 m to. The correct answer is 384 m to.